outside of the, the basics, bedroom, okay, basic, cook and clean, basic. These are basic human skills, but like the nurturing part, the motherhood part, dear God, that's the part that we don't talk enough about. And that's the part that's not so glamorous. And that's the part that we just don't know how to commit to. Because we didn't see it. You got to be taught that stuff. Like, you got to be shown how to communicate with somebody of a different gender. You have to be shown how to cater to somebody's needs and emotions. And, we don't get that. We just get use him for his money and be pretty. And that's what we living up to.
Damn.
Okay, it's about us women. No one can tell us anything wrong with us. No one can give us the truth. We can't take any type of criticism. We're willing to throw it out there, or we'll criticize all day. We'll be nasty all day. Just look at the Cardi B situation I was in. But Cardi B actually saying to me, who am I talking to? Clearly, I was talking to you. Because you were so hurt, you had to make a post about it when you should be about your business, what's going on with you. But see, it's easier to throw out shots. It's easier to just say whatever when you feel wounded inside, when something triggers you. So this is one of the most honest conversations I've ever seen a young woman have. In her honesty. This is on the channel We Need to Talk. I'm going to leave the full link below, but you guys need to watch every minute of this. I'm going to be pausing and giving my analysis as usual, but the original video, and I think he has more parts of this interview on other videos with her, but this is the one that popped up, and and it really jumped out at me. So yeah, just buckle up. This is going to be a good one.
Internalizing your trauma. So maybe for those of us that do know better, you don't really want to do better because you don't really know how to do better. And I think that more so might be what it is. Like, you don't want to give up on, like, it's hard when you've only known one thing and then to just kind of like get on the straight and narrow, it's kind of difficult. And I guess I kind of have a testimony to that because I had like a really, really good guy in my life.
The Steve.
Yeah. I had a really, really, really good guy in my life, but because I knew better, I didn't want to do better, and because I wanted to internalize that trauma, I just didn't want to give up on it. I lost him, and he just got married last year. Could have been me. So like,
so
out the gate, I mean, she's just being honest. And so I have to commend her with that. I mean, we don't know fully if anyone's ever been honest, but from what I'm hearing, I'm not hearing any blaming of anyone else. But right there, it's like, this is the thing that though is a little bit confused. To do better. You know what's better. But then it's also in the same conversation, you don't know what's better. So I think a lot of young women, like she's saying, y'all know better. We know better. Women know better. We know what's right. It just doesn't feel good. We're used to, like she said, the trauma. We're used to just dragging that along with us. And that's what our appetite is for. So then what happens is she met a good man, a man she still regrets losing because she refused to change. So clearly they were having conversations about this. And it's always in the aftermath that, I hear so many women, looking back after they've been in the streets longer, and they say, they look back on what they thought wasn't a good situation or they could do better, and find out what's out here. It's cold in these streets. So if a man wants to commit and loves you and you guys are a couple and you can work things out, especially her being young, I don't know how old she is. I think she's in her 20s. I would assume that that's what you should do. But see, what the world keeps telling us, you need to have hot girl summers. You need to have a hoe phase, because what is life? You're going to regret that. You're going to regret missing out on a hoe phase. Very rarely do you hear about the regret of losing out on good men. But she's able to take full accountability that she did. And now the guy's married. He was ready, to lock it down, and he just moved on, to the next one.
Do you think Gen Z, more specifically, I would say younger millennials, Gen Z, do you think they actually aspire to long-term monogamous relationships? Do you think marriage is still like something worth striving for? Or do you think it's just the aesthetic of, I got my engagement ring, look at this beautiful day that, put us on Bella Nigel's Instagram page? Like, do you think your generation still wants that?
They want the aesthetic. They want the wedding and to shit on their... I'm sorry, can I cuss?
You can cuss.
and to shit on their friends and be like, yeah, I got the ring and, the ceremony and the dress, but they don't want the longevity.
Say more about that. Why?
They don't want the decades. They don't want the pain. They don't want the forgive your husband for cheating. They don't want the they don't want the hardships of it. But they do want love. And so I think maybe they get conflated just in the idea of being a bride, and it just kind of like, for myself personally, maybe that's why I'm kind of messing up. Like, I don't want to really speak for everybody.
Sure.
But I can speak for what I want personally. I never wanted to be married, but that was only because I never saw marriage. Like, I never saw relationships. I didn't, other than, on TV, I never saw it in real life. Everybody that I ever knew was a single mother. So I just kind of like silently accepted the fact that was probably going to be my life. But then this whole manosphere thing happened and you had creators like Kevin Samuels coming out and like he was spitting, like it kind of made sense. Like, hold on. We need men. Like, hold on. You can't be. It's like we felt like we could just be city girls forever and just be hot girls forever and just use guys forever. But I don't think that's how life is supposed to work. As a matter of fact, I know that's not how life is supposed to work. And I think where a lot of us are with Gen Z, especially myself, I think a lot of us just don't know how to get there. So, like, it's difficult. I wouldn't even know where to begin on how to be a wife. Like,
so I wanted to pause that right there because she said a bunch of things y'all know I will forget. But again, the honesty right here, the vulnerability that she's displaying, is amazing because so many women, even older than her, will not admit these things. And she recognized when she heard Kevin, she heard direction. What did she say? She said that she didn't, growing up, all she saw was just being a single mother, a baby mama. So she just assumed that's what her life was going to be. She had no direction, no one teaching her certain things. And that's what Kevin was doing. And some people will say he was too harsh, his tone, all of these things. I can tell you without a doubt, it doesn't matter your tone. If someone doesn't like what you're saying, they're just not going to like it regardless. They're going to find a way to spin it. But what's astounding is that she recognized there was a need in her life of having direction. She's saying that now. Clearly, you can see that. And she's saying it. And so when she listened to someone like Kevin, he opened her eyes and it was the direction she had been longing for her entire life. And this is what I say about women. They want structure. They want discipline. They want someone to lead. They want someone to guide them for the most part internally. If you really get to the heart of it. But so many are caught up. Like she said, we're not supposed to be city girls forever. That's the main message. And anything that bucks against having your hot girl summers, being city girls or just, living your best life, living in your truth, you are, those are the dominating messages. There's very little else other than the men who are putting in the work online to tell women the truth and to open them up to how men think. And so this right here is a this right here needs to be shared. The original video, his video, go to his channel, the link's below. Please share this video, because this honest conversation and telling the truth about how these young women do not know how to be wives. So they have to buck against the discipline and the things that are telling them to do it right and do this and do that. And I would dare say, if she's been listening to Kevin, she knows what she needs to do. May not have it in a systematic way to teach to understand it and really, that's why I believe this is why I've been working on a course to help young women, especially give them the guidance that they never were given. And no one's trying to give it to them. And sure, they can have all this stuff about twerking, they'll learn everything about, what clothes to put on, what hair to do, lashes, all of these things that are external, and being able to go, post pictures and get everybody in their DMs. And that's what they know, is just to attract sexual attention alone. No, of course, men are visual, so they're going to be sexually attracted to you at first, but there has to be substance behind it, and not just, well, if they get to know me. You have to be putting things out there that demonstrates that talks about these things, that shows that you value a man, that shows that you have value. Can you still put out something that's cute? I just recently put out a picture of me. A lot of people had never seen me full length before. And so, which I was shocked, because I was like, I feel like people have seen me or put me out there. But anyway, some people can say, well, it was on my IG. It's also on my community tab if you want to see it. They will say, are you thirst trapping? I said, are you trying to get attention and sexual attention? I said, no, I'm husband trapping. Because if you go to any of my content, any of my social media, the thing that is the focus is my mind, or I'm putting out videos on things that I want people to think about. I am, here doing the work. So if I put out something where I look cute, absolutely. That is not thirst trapping. That's called husband trapping. And a lot of people get in their feelings and don't understand the difference. They'll say, well, look, you can't talk about that because the foolishness. They try to conflate things and not see a bigger picture. We've really got to get back to, I think logic and deductive reasoning. And I do see that this young woman has that. So this is actually very, very encouraging.
Outside of the basics, bedroom, okay, basic, cook and clean, basic. These are basic human skills, but like the nurturing part, the motherhood part, dear God, that's the part that we don't talk enough about. And that's the part that's not so glamorous. And that's the part that we just don't know how to commit to. Because we didn't see it. You got to be taught that stuff. Like, you got to be shown how to communicate with somebody of a different gender. You have to be shown how to cater to somebody's needs and emotions. And, we don't get that. We just get use him for his money and be pretty. And that's what we living up to.
Damn.
I'm sorry, I have to stop it there. I know some of y'all not going to like it. Listen, don't watch. Just go to the original then if you want to see that. But, going back to the original point, she talked about how they just want the clout of getting married, thinking of getting married as an end point. And marriage is just the starting point. Combining two lives together, like once the glamour, the romance of a wedding and all of that is over with, now you have the rest of your life that you have to do with this person, with your husband. And many of you guys know I'm divorced. I did not file, nor did I cheat. And there's no possibility of reconciliation. I bring that up because I was married for quite some time, over a decade. And, yes, are there things that can happen in a marriage where, one person does one thing and whatever? I'm not getting into those details. A marriage can still break down even if you are trying your best to do things right. No one's going to be perfect. But it's what I like about her attitude is a similar attitude I had after my marriage failed, was like, how can I change? How can I do better? What is in me that needs to change so that when the opportunity comes again in the man that is supposed to be for me next, how can I even more so, be a submissive wife? How can I more so nurture and pour into a man, build his legacy? Those things, because you never stop learning. Okay. And just because you have a failure does not mean that you should lay down and give up. In fact, the biggest life lessons, the greatest conquerors in the world in business and anything have failed. And a lot of them have failed multiple times. But what she's talking about right here is an absolute, I see that same mindset and that same logic where she's telling the truth about it. Like there are things that need to change, and she's admitting what she does not know. A lot women, we think that men want us to be these perfect beings, but just having a humble attitude and not saying that you're a perfect 10. And like she said, you just look good and you can do something in the bedroom, do basic cooking and cleaning, which a lot of women today cannot do basic cooking and cleaning. And we don't look as good as we think we do. The message is out there. Everybody's a 10, but everyone's not a 10. Okay. And so we live in this delusion and this false reality and think because we say it, it must be. But like she said, takes more to a man than just looking cute in the bedroom. The majority of your marriage, your time with a man, 5% is maybe spent in a bedroom. If you think about in 24 hours a day, in a week, in a year, all the things that have to go into it. Who is teaching these young women these things? It's supposed to start at home. It's supposed to be at home. But again, she's only been around having single motherhood. And this is why it's important to address that factor and to break these false ideas and beliefs that are deeply embedded in women as children. And a lot of times it comes from the mother, from the men that she's picking. Okay. She's deciding to have children with, to her not even knowing herself how to be a wife or to be that type of woman. So how's she going to teach? Plus being a single mother, struggling to make ends meet. You don't have time to be teaching lessons on how to be a wife. And especially if it's something you don't know.
Damn. Okay, so talk about how you found the manosphere, Kevin Samuels, and what do you think that you have learned so far?
Everybody found Kevin on that video. That video with the lady. Yeah, everybody found him from that video. And it was weird because me and my mom actually used to watch Tommy Sotomayor.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so we was in it deep, right? Whew. That was like when it was no rules.
Yeah.
So we I already kind of had a little insight on the fact that men had gripes with women that we may not have been really very aware of. But when he came out, I feel like he made it more digestible, and he made
Kevin Samuels did?
Kevin Samuels. I feel like he made it more. Yeah. Well, if you were a Tommy watcher, then you.
Okay.
Kevin and Tommy is like night and day, right?
Yeah.
So I think he put it in, and it was still entertaining. Like he still has those videos that can get there, but his was, if you can handle constructive criticism, if you can handle honesty and the truth, then you can handle Kevin. So, and I was in a place where I just wasn't really happy, and sometimes, again, don't want to speak for women, but sometimes some women, we can be in a place where we don't feel happy, but we don't really know why. And that's where I was. And I didn't realize it was correlated to the weight. And it's like, okay, I'm not getting partners because I don't look good. And for the guys that I am getting every now and then, it's not sustainable. Maybe I'm choosing wrong, or I don't know how to act. Because the woman that you see before you today is a changed woman. Because when I tell you, I just didn't know how to be like a girlfriend. Like, I didn't know how to be a woman. Like, I just didn't know how to actually be what a man needed me to be, or what a guy needed me to be. And so I think creators like Kevin and even Tommy, and all the many other manosphere content creators out there, I think they really do, even though the vast majority of women won't say it, I think they really do help kind of like guide us or herd us in the right direction. Especially for those of us who didn't have that guidance. Yeah.
What she said, I'm not familiar with with Tommy's stuff, but you guys know about me and Kevin. So for me, Kevin, it was the same thing for me, because even though I was raised to be a wife, like my goal in life was to be a housewife. That's how I was raised. And because I was raised very religiously and taught a lot of things, but submission was just like basic. It was who you're supposed to be. So there were a lot of things I knew, but even again, there's failures in my life that I had to recognize, why my marriage failed. What are the things that I need to look at with me? And she started to go into that thing about, I'm picking wrong. I did a video recently on a woman who was on Kevin's show, and it was all about like, she was just picking wrong, but not saying what's wrong with her. She immediately jumped into, it was something wrong with her. She didn't know how to act. She didn't know how to be a girlfriend. She didn't know how to be a woman to a man. Okay. And so regardless of what stage you're at, maybe you were raised a certain way, there's always a learning lesson as a woman. And there's always more that you can do. Are there more that men can do? Absolutely. But that's not this conversation. Okay. It's about us women. No one can tell us anything wrong with us. No one can give us the truth. We can't take any type of criticism. We're willing to throw it out there, or we'll criticize all day. We'll be nasty all day. Just look at the Cardi B situation I was in. But Cardi B actually saying to me, who am I talking to when I'm trying to discipline and essentially tell this girl about, what's going on with her or what I'm perceiving? And she decided to ask, who am I talking to? And decided to put it out there. And look at her situation. She's gotten in trouble now talking about Scottie Pippen and all this. And she's getting in trouble with other things, running at the mouth. She's got her own problems, but she decided to jump over here instead of looking in the mirror. Wanted to point at me. And who am I talking to? Clearly, I was talking to you, because you were so hurt you had to make a post about it when you should be about your business, what's going on with you. But see, it's easier to throw out shots. It's easier to just say whatever when you feel wounded inside, when something triggers you. Your trigger is your trauma to deal with. So if I'm saying something that bothers you, if Kevin says something that bothers you, you need to be able to peel back the layers in your life and say, why can't if this is not about me, why am I offended? Why am I trying to cape for other women who most likely would not cape for me? We've got to end this sisterhood kumbaya, like women love each other. Women are the nastiest to each other. Horrible. Y'all know how we do. But yet we didn't try to sit back. If it's a woman, guys, I'm spitting. It's coming out. That fire. But if it's a woman, which is, how could he talk to me? How could he do that? If it was a man, no woman would have any issues with it. But see, because it's coming to a woman, you feel it's almost like a proxy, like that's you. Because we do have a group mentality as women when we feel attacked, like if one woman's getting attacked, and it hurts our feelings too. And that's why I'm glad seeing a young woman like this who is able to, she's still growing, she's still learning, and there's things she knows she needs to change, but she already said she's not who she used to be, thanks to men setting her straight, telling the truth. And her being able to listen and willing to. And from what I hear right here, she still is willing to. And that is what men have been asking for, so that we can catch so many of these young women before they ride the CC, before they jump outside, before they start blaming men for everything. How can you ever grow? How can you get what's best for you in your life? How can you live your best life, your truth, if you're not willing to face the truth? How can you live your best life if you can't take any type of criticism in the way you've been moving? And especially if that criticism is trying to help you see the fallacy in your thoughts. The way you're living, being a 304 is fun and cute with your girlfriends, but men do not want to wife that. Besides that, it gives you more trauma, and it does nothing to prepare you, like she said, to be a wife and to be a mother, what they truly want. But the issue is, at the end of the day, no matter how much these women learn or try to change, it is like, and she even said, it is difficult to get through the marriage part, like actually having to day in and day out the duties and responsibilities that it takes. And so many of them don't even want it. They would rather be just a baby mother because it's what they know and it's easier, and they don't have the responsibility of maintaining something with the man. And we're also, all people, but especially women, we are drawn to toxicity. We're drawn to our own trauma, and we keep revisiting it with the choices that we make. And until you take a hard look in the mirror and not this fake, I'm soft life now and I'm going to be a lady, that's not being a woman to a man. That's basic femininity that you were born with. But somehow through nurture and your environment, you've become more masculine. We all have a masculine and feminine side, men and women, but women naturally should be leaning into that. So again, check out the link below. Also, if you want to book time with me on my calendar, talk about dating, relationships, even a subject like this that maybe you're going through, your marriage, divorce, I've been through it all. Make sure you check out that link, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.